Well, we did it. 2024 is in the books. We all survived the year of truth. I think some people barely compared to others, but at the very least, this is the start of a new chapter. And in my opinion, this has been one of the best years in hip hop in recent memory, in recent years. I mean, think about it. Going into this year, if you would have told me that we were getting Eminem to drop, Kendrick Lamar to drop, J. Cole to drop, a collab album between Dr. Dre and Snoop and countless other artists, on top of one of the biggest hip hop beefs and rap battles in history. One, I would have said you're crazy. And two, I would have said, wow, we're getting spoiled this year and how lucky we're going to be. But for me, it's not just about the quantity of releases and who is dropping. It's about the art that is being pushed forward and was pushed throughout 2024. And one of this past year's biggest breakthrough artists, in my opinion, was none other than TDE's own Doechii. And you guys know, unfortunately, this past year, it's not been the easiest year. Right? With mom going through cancer, fighting all of that, my wife's health scare, my own health issues, all the family losses and tragedy that we suffered. One of the things that I found is that it's been very hard to continue to spin plates in terms of content because I need to dedicate my time and my attention elsewhere, which means I don't always get to react to artists when I want to react to them. And I can't always get things out as quickly. And there are times when, unfortunately, I just kind of miss the trends and miss the opportunity to react to an artist, to break down a track, and then that is long gone unless people want to view it, unless people want to click it. And at the end of the day, I only put out so much content. I'm still trying to make a living off of this. I'm still trying to provide for my family. So it is a shame that there are artists that I do miss. And I feel awful about it because I want to push their art. I want to celebrate their art and, be a part of that movement and be a part of that. But thankfully, we were lucky enough to finally get to Doechii to react to her Tiny Desk concert. And wow, let me tell you, I was so impressed just with the soul, the jazz, the artistry of it. It really just felt like my soul was fed listening to Doechii and breaking all of that down. It's one of my favorite reactions and breakdowns that I've done this year. And I'm honestly really excited about this year. I really feel like my love, my passion for hip hop has been reinvigorated through all the amazing art that has been put forth. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Doechii does. But in the past few days, she made a tweet voicing her thoughts, which I feel like really encapsulate 2024 and some of the trends and movements that we've seen and hopefully give a preview of what's to come. Here's what she said. Our music has always been deep. It's always been complex and it's always been soulful, spiritual. We use hip hop to evolve, to protest, to celebrate. That's so well put. Art, music plays a role in why a lot of us are proud to be black today. Our culture is all through these genres. Don't let these people brainwash you into disconnecting from the soul of hip hop by convincing you it isn't cool or it's too deep. It's always been that deep for us and it should stay that way. We created it. Once we lose the soul, we've lost the genre. And look, those are lines that even my melanated deficient self can appreciate. You always have to respect the history. You have to respect the roots. You have to respect the heritage of hip hop. And one of the beautiful things about hip hop is that it continues to connect and that it continues to evolve through the years. But there's always that respect for the OGs. There's always that respect for the pioneers, for the traditions that got hip hop to being one of the biggest genres in the world that it is today. And it's very much a voice for black identity. It's very much been a voice for those who often don't have a voice, right? It's been an opportunity and a platform to raise awareness on issues from those who come from underprivileged, impoverished communities, from those who come from areas who can share experiences that a number of listeners won't be able to relate to, but it helps them to understand and appreciate. And one of the reasons I fell in love with hip hop originally, not only because of where I was raised and it was just ingrained into that culture, it saved my life so many times over. It's given me an outlet of expression, but I've always loved that hip hop has been used as a means for social change. And I really feel like this past year, we've gotten back to that soul, that essence of hip hop being used as a means for that, whether it's for social commentary, whether it's for raising awareness, whether it's for different cultural issues, whether it's for expressing struggle. And then there's been a very just raw, vulnerable movement as well, a very set the stage by Kendrick Lamar, Miss Morale. It's like we've had a delayed reaction to that like 4 years later. We've sort of had this Miss Morale effect where there's just this raw honesty. And it's beautiful to see within MCing. A lot of artists just, really being willing to dig deep within themselves and to not put a filter on their art and to really share that with the world. Whether it's Tyler, the Creator, saying that he's made one of the most honest albums that he's ever done. Whether it's Kendrick Lamar and his honesty and the way that came into play in the beef against Drake. And what do you represent? What do you stand for as an MC or the Doechiis of a world, right? Sharing their struggle, sharing what they have gone through, sharing their rise up. It really has been a beautiful year and the year of the MC. But she's not done with these thoughts. Nobody should be redefining our art form but us. Anybody talking shit about hip hop that makes you think or makes you feel something should immediately be recognized as an op. Ask yourself what they gain from us watering down our music, taking the soul out of it, only discussing surface level topics and becoming less conscious. Only a specific group of people benefit from us not being introspective. Tighten up. And that feels very much like a call to action for this year. And I even saw a preview of this when I reacted to Fat Joe saying this was the worst year ever in hip hop. When I reacted to Drake going on live streams and on his, red pill rant lately and saying that hip hop has been weird this year. Rap music has been weird, and trying to kind of just wave it aside and dismiss it. But there were a number of comments that I saw on social media with people agreeing with the Fat Joes, agreeing with the Drakes, feeding those narratives, giving into those takes. Then obviously arguing numbers, as if numbers and statistics are the only thing that matters when it comes to musical consumption. And I know we live in a world of capitalism, and the music industry is a part of that capitalist society. But rap music and hip hop music is not about capitalism. Rap is about culture. And unfortunately, that culture does get utilized for profits. It does get exploited and it does get taken advantage of. And I think the danger is this line of thinking that's being pushed by some of these influencers, that's being pushed by other people on social media, which can turn into these different echo chambers of just putting rap solely under the lens of consumerism and solely looking at it from that side of things. Because, we all know a common theme is to rap about success, to rap about wealth, to rap about the amount of women that you've been with, right? These very shallow topics, these very shallow sort of issues that it seems like it doesn't matter your background. Everyone can grab onto because they're selling you a lifestyle. They're selling you this rich, famous celebrity lifestyle that you see in a number of genres, that you see in a number of walks of life. And one of the issues that I think we have as a society really is that because someone is of celebrity status, because someone is successful monetarily, well, we tend to somehow treat them as if they're greater than the common person, when at the end of the day, we're all just human. And some of these people, just because they're successful, it doesn't make them good human beings. And also, a number of these musicians, just because they move units, it also doesn't mean that they're good artists. And I think Cat Williams really set the terms of engagement for last year. And we really did put a lot of these celebrities who before went unquestioned under the microscope. And we started to look and ask questions about their integrity, about their intentions, especially with the music and especially in relation to hip hop and the culture. I mean, look at the Kendrick and Drake beef and look at Kendrick's accusations against Drake. And the culture very much spoke and made a stand. Kendrick Lamar won the beef. And instead of a focus on consumerism, instead of a focus on those hit songs that are gonna move units and be successful, that will come and then be forgotten in 6 to 8 months from now, it all of a sudden became about music that isn't so easily replicatable. It became about music that is unique to that artist creating the music. And I really think the dial swung back from over here to focusing once more on the art. And for me as an artist, that's a beautiful fucking thing. But I still think we need to tread carefully. And I think there's a very good reason why Doechii made this tweet. You see, 2024 is come and gone. This is a new chapter. As Drake said, this is a new NBA season. And as critical as last year was to hip hop, I think how it's followed up with this year is even more important and even more impactful. Because it feels like we've started down a new lane. But we could very easily see the pendulum swing back the other way. We could very easily see the narrative start to change once more as some of these powers who used to be in control and used to have all the leverage seek to regain that control, seek to regain that leverage. And at the end of the day, it's still a business of making money. But this is where you, the listener, can make a difference in 2025. Here's to the Doechiis of this year, to the Kendricks, to the Tylers, to the Cordays, to the Schoolboy Qs, and the countless other artists who are pouring out their heart and their introspection to truly create higher level art that tries to further the culture. And the more that we as listeners listen to them and support them, well, the industry takes notes on that. I mean, look how they shifted from supporting Drake's reign for over a decade to almost overnight just shifting the goalposts and then now backing Kendrick Lamar. If 2024 was a turning point for hip hop, then this is the year that defines its future. The battle lines have been drawn and we'll see what happens.